Well, good morning, viewers. Lovely sunny morning, nearly the end of May. Here we are in Cornwall, and there's the Rover. I'm going to give you an update on that, and then I turn around, and there's my X19. I'll give you an update on that. We'll start with the X19 first, because I'm stood next to it. I've just replaced the fuel lines going into the carburetor. I've got the stuff for the one leaving it. And I also haven't replaced the fuel line coming into the pump, but I've replaced it with, well, I was sold it as fuel line from the German company that does the Hardy pumps, and it seems to be working okay, but it says air line hose for lorries and things like that. It's thicker, but they sold it, so it might be the stuff. It's a lot more flexible than the E10 fuel pipe that you get. So I've got it here, and I've got it, as you'll see on the Rover, in a little section. So we see how it goes, because it's much more flexible. As I said, I got some fuel hose the other day from a car place, and it's quite hard. Not as hard as the stuff that came off, but anyway, I've got a new fuel filter in there, and I've marked 525 the month, so, and the direction, so I'll know when that needs replacing. And so that's the engine bay, looking, well, a little bit scruffy, but it works well. And then in the boot, I thought I'd show you what I carry in the boot. I've got a bag full of tools and my torch, and it's got little cheap socket set, but it's a good one, and the manual and the Fiat hat and some spare coolant and a distributor cap and the jack. And then over here I've got a tow rope and some oil and a thermometer for when the coil was getting hot, but that's all right. And a little drink bottle and a rag and stuff like that, shopping bags. But that's what I go around with in the car. Sort of like a security blanket. It makes me feel better. And then, yes, you can see there, those black marks. They're the original colour of the car. Black, sort of with a metal bit in it. That's what this car originally was. And I can't think there were many of them, but anyway, there's some more there. It was a pretty good coat of paint. So that's the X19, which is driving well, and I'll go over to what I'm wearing in a minute. Of course, obviously, on that little pipe there, that's this one here that comes out. I haven't got round to replacing it yet. So then there's the Rover, and I've been driving that, and I've replaced the fuel pipe that came from underneath the car that went to a mechanical pump down there, and I've replaced it with one coming round from the fuel tap, which is in an almost, well, you can't see, but it's right down that hole there, and it comes off there and it goes round the back of the engine now and to there, and I've covered it with the aluminium foil. And there's the Hardy fuel pump. I've forgotten your name, who was just sending me messages, but you'll know who you are, and I'll call you out next time. And that drove fine up to 4 yesterday, but when I started off, after I'd driven about perhaps 5 minutes, there was the smell of petrol. And Gary in Wolverhampton or wherever it is, he said it could be just a surge in the fuel, and that will come out the overflows. You can see that pipe going down there and along, and that could be the smell of it, because there's no drips from anywhere. So I've got a hose going from right down there, right round the back of the engine along here, no leaks to the pump, so it's all easily get-atable, and it's not right underneath the exhausts there. But it's been a bit of a fiddle trying to find out where the smell of petrol was coming from, but I think I've got it sorted out now. So I'll just go briefly what I've done since I got the car, which was running all right. But first thing, I got new tyres, those blocky tyres or Blockley tyres, and had the balancing done on those. Next thing I did was the new headlights, which have got bulbs in them, and that was the problem with the fuse inside the car. Then I replaced the Kenlo fan thermostat there from there where the pump is. Not that I use it, because it's got a new radiator and that's all been sorted out. Then I put the pump in there on that bracket, and you can see the green silicon, which is one of those grip things that you get plates out, hold it, and I cut it into bits, and so that's some deadening there. So, and the filter, replaced the filter that was there with a new filter. It was all clogged up, and so I've got that there with its power coming from the 35 amp feed to the water bottle there. I haven't got the water bottle. Then there was a new coil. Then what else did it do? Oh, the carburetors to pieces, new floats and jets in there. And then there was the fuel tap down there, which was leaking, drip, 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 drip. You can't see it. New air filters in there, new oil filter down there. What else? I put polish on the, not polish, leather preservative on the seats. Tried to get the clock working, haven't got that going yet, but that's not important because time is on my side. What else did I do? In the boot I made, I can't show you, I haven't got the, well, I have got the keys, I'll show you the keys. I made little, well, let's see, I'll get the keys out because I got to show you. These are the original keys from 1975. How's that? The original ones I've got. The red dots on that key there, that's for the, that's nail varnish. It's for, so I know which one does the door. Does the doors. Yeah, the original 1975 key. So we'll unlock the boot and I can show you, because you might not be familiar with Rovers. Rovers always had their battery, a lot of cars did, somewhere cool rather than in the engine. Trying to do this single-handed. Come on, in you go. There's none of that. And yes, they had the battery in the boot or under the rear seat, the Rover 100 had. There's the spare, takes up a lot of the boot, but there we go. And there's the cover for the battery, and I got some studding and bent it into the right shape, and that stops that cover rattling around. Reserve tank of fuel just in case. And there's a bulb in here somewhere for oh, there it is, under there. That doesn't work at the moment, so I'll replace that. But it's a decent sized boot. But the idea of putting it on the lid there, like some people do, and trying to open or close it, I don't know. There we go. If you want a description of the Didion rear suspension, which is wonderful. I mean, the car just handles the road perfectly. And it's got a big anti-roll bar in the front. And there's inside the car, look. Quite warm. And I've got some sheets and things on the back seat to cover it up, cover them up. I mean, it's not like Texas sun or Australian sun, but the black obviously absorbs the UV and re-emits it, so I'll cover the back seat with those. My granddaughter was in the back of this the other day, pretending, or the front seat, screwed that down, and the screw down here on the right hand side, that's just rotating. So I need to take the carpet up and find a nut for it, or find out what's happening. But anyway, that's attached properly. A headrest, the Posh headrest, £500 a pair of those, goodness gracious. Handbrakes working, yes, I sorted that again. That was Mark Gray up in Birmingham. He told me how to do that. I mean, it's still quite a long way up. I need to get underneath again. Oh, I sorted out the gear knob that was coming off. I've repaired that so that it's good. New knob in there, £34 for one of those green plastic ones, but where else do you get them? So there we are. It's not leaking petrol anymore. I'm certain of that. The gear changes are a bit slow sometimes, but apparently they call that morning sickness in the clubs and all the rest of it. But there it is, the mighty V8. Beautiful day here. It's got a new brake servo, new radiator, a brand new exhaust, all sorts of stuff. It really had money spent on it, but they always need a little bit more to make them. But I certainly know all about the fuel system and the brakes, all sorts of things now. and it's an entertainment. I mean, I do go in sometimes feeling absolutely exhausted, and my knee did go. But I might show you the interesting front suspension with bell cranks, and don't know whether it'll show up, but the spring goes back to front rather than up and down, because, as I've said, this was going to have a gas turbine. Blockley, you can see it written upside down. They're the place for tyres. They're expensive, but they're really good. It's better than anything, really, I think, and they've got the proper period tread pattern on them. And I was at a car show the other day, Wheel Martin, and there was a fellow who's been on a website. He's got that silver Rover P6 and a beautiful original Range Rover, Mark 1 Range Rover, Suffix A or whatever, and he was looking at the tyres. So, of course, people put van tyres on these. They're the only ones that can fit, but it's much better to have the proper ones. So there we are. That's the Rover today on this lovely sunny morning. And I just rang up Mark Gray to ask him about the smell of petrol, and he was scratching his head a bit, which makes me feel better because I was scratching my head. I tightened up the hoses in the that's not down, is it? That needs something. You see, it could be that. It might have been that. Who knows? Yes, it could have been. It could have been just that. I didn't notice that was open. Could have been that. Anyway, so there's the Rover, and that's doing well. Get lots of waves, and I met a couple of 2 or 3 lovely people last night. I was up at Foy. It was foggy and that, so I didn't take a video. And they were foreign, you know, sort of not like me. And well, I'm strange, and they were from Iraq. They saw me smoking a cigar, and they thought, oh, the English gentleman, and they're not far off it. I got my Rover, I got my cigar, I got me a Kubra hat, and I was taking it easy, and they said, you look like you're living the life, relaxing. And I said, I am. And they're lovely, if they ever see this, from Iraq. And they were telling about Saddam Hussein and the other side of the story that you don't get in the news. He likes cigars, so there we are. I'm on the same page as Saddam Hussein. These 2 fellas from Iraq, lovely men, really lovely gentlemen. And so there's the Rover. Here's where I live. Beautiful day. We had a bit of rain the other day, which is good because it keeps everything green. As you see, everything's green. We've got the buttercups up, the roses are coming out. The house I painted with my roller after I'd broken my hip. And so we got the Rover here. Nothing to do on it today, I hope. And the X19, where the heck is Northcliffe? When I was last in Northcliffe, I looked for a sticker and they'd run out. So I don't know what I'm going to have to do. And here's the Rover. Oh. What I've done there, I've got frame rate and all sorts of things on it. I hope that's not coming up on the screen. If it is, that'll amuse you anyway. Anyway, all the best to you. That's 13 minutes. All the best to you. Now, what am I wearing? I'm wearing plastic shoes, good for standing on nails, and my shorts, and a shirt, and I did brush my hair. But anyway, all the best to you from England. All the people I know, Chris and Ian and Reg and Alan and Linda and I don't know. It's early morning, but if I've forgotten your name, please forgive me. And thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. What do I look like today? Oh, this is a horror film, isn't it? Here we are. This is your old mate David. Long past it. False tooth, false hip. Hearing aids coming as well. $1 million, well, not $1 million. The $2 man, $2 shop man. Anyway, all the best to you. Bye-bye. There we go. Oh dear, all that fuel.